Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show, and we are the blue-collar version of the 904 now. Not those fancy guys that work in a high-rise office that take every national holiday off. We're blue-collar. We just show up and work every single day.
They know how to fix the white balance on these cameras, so they got something on us.
They do have something on us. I actually don't think it's out of balance. I think Pete just wants to look more tan.
So
they've
Troy.
turned it up. Troy.
That would be Troy's
Yeah, he's trying to get his beard not to be white.
Oh.
That's a lot of change in hue.
That is a lot of compensating.
That's a lot of compensating. All right, so those of you that tuned in, we're happy you're here. We're happy to be here on President's Day.
Yes.
It was a great work day today because a lot of people apparently had the day off. I got left alone almost all day long.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's always fun for you.
I got a lot of work
You
done.
like to work in a quiet vacuum.
I don't get to work. I work in a, gosh, I'm trying to think what's a good, if you watched Apollo 13 and you saw that control room, that's kind of the chaos that I work in every day. I just I don't have one ship that's going down. I might have multiples that we're trying to constantly fix at all time and get people to show up with the right equipment and figure it all out. So it's a lot of fun. So when you have a quiet day, it's like, whew, okay, I got something done.
Yeah.
Not so quiet for passengers of a Delta airline. That's really sad. I think what I've seen is that everybody is okay.
That's what I've heard.
Which is a miracle that you can land a plane upside down and everybody walks away from it.
Well, you know.
Can you imagine hanging?
Survivable,
can you
right?
imagine hanging in the seat upside down and you got to undo the seatbelt so that you can fall?
That would hurt. That would probably hurt me more than the landing.
Than the landing. I don't know. And then like all your stuff is below you. Can you imagine the stewardess coming on? And we're only joking because we think everybody's okay,
yes,
right? The stewardess coming on and going, your bags may have rearranged during a landing. Be careful when opening the door. I mean,
not just the bags.
And then
everything rearranged.
They have this whole ramp system that when the plane lands, you got to get off the plane. Mm-hmm. But the ramp system was upside down. So basically you're hopping out of the door.
That inflatable slide doesn't work.
Inflatable slide. If you have to like push it out of the way to jump out of the door. So now we're just joking about all of this airline travel because it's just.
We were told they survived. What is going on with this pen?
I don't know.
Evidently dry erase marker gets weird if you leave a condensating cup on it. Is that the right way to say that?
I'm going to hope that I'm not even going there with this.
Cup with condensation accumulation.
A sweating cup.
A sweaty cup.
A sweat hog cup.
Yeah, that's probably better.
All right, let's make some money for this show. Step into the world of support and healing with Epic Behavioral Healthcare. For over 50 years, Epic has been a beacon of hope for our community, providing compassionate care for those touched by substance use or mental health disorders. Whether you're a kid, teen, adult, couple, or family, Epic is here to lend a helping hand. With a range of programs tailored to meet diverse needs, Epic offers accessible solutions for everyone. From their walk-in access center to their mobile response team, from inpatient detoxification to outpatient counseling, Epic provides comprehensive care every step of the way. And their services include psychiatric evaluations, medication management, medication-assisted treatment, care coordination, peer support, suicide prevention training, parenting education, much, much, much more. Give them a call over at Epic. They're glad to help you out. They're very, very good folks. They come in every once in a while and talk to us about all the programs and all the good work.
They're amazing. They're going to come on in a couple of weeks.
Yes, they are awesome.
Hebert Kresge and Associates, a full-service local CPA firm with a team of skilled professionals dedicated to providing top-level service in the areas of tax compliance, planning for businesses, individuals, estates, and trusts, audits, reviews, and other accounting services, business valuations, forensic analysis, and litigation support. You can reach Hebert Kresge Associates at 904-460-0747 or online at hebertkresgecpa.com. We also have Moultrie Creek or Anastasia Diner. These neighborhood diners are more than just a place to eat. They're where hospitality blooms and friends gather. Bring your own or make new ones. The coffee is always hot, the smiles are genuine, and the food tastes like home. Every meal is a chance to make memories, share stories, and create bonds that last a lifetime. It's not just about the food on the plate, but the community that comes together at the table. Come and see them at Moultrie Creek Diner or Anastasia Diner. Tell them Andy sent you.
All right, and the team at South State Bank, they're a group of bankers you can count on. Their approach to building long-term relationships with their customers is second to none. Oh, man.
You changed the wording.
I changed the wording. I read a different one. Their approach to building long-term relationships with the customers is the best in the business. If you're looking for a banking relationship you can depend on, check out South State Bank. They've got 3 locations of service here in St. Augustine. They've got one on State Road 312, one over at State Road 16. And I really changed this read up. And my favorite, the one over at the beach. I was doing so good reads for like
Bill
a month.
O'Reilly.
And I just,
And we'll do it live.
We're just doing this live. Is that a hammer? Do I hear a hammer? Just visit their website, southstatebank.com. They're a member of the FDIC.
Yep.
Longtime supporter of this show. We love them. Awesome folks. They're also the bank of this show, which is awesome.
They can help you live and in person.
They certainly can. They certainly can. And for all the 904 addicts, we're glad that we can fill your hit today. So
give you that little dose.
Give you that little dose of some 904 now.
Yep.
We love Pete, Davey, and Troy. However, we're going to say bad things about them taking a day off. So that's it. So Barbara Jean, just sit back and enjoy, because Barbara Jean, we love Prince more than they do.
Oh.
Just say it.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, we kind of do.
I love purple more than them.
I have a purple pen, Barbara. That should count for something, Barbara Jean. I got a purple pen.
He has
today.
a cat.
I babysat a cat this weekend for my son, Ethan, and his girlfriend, Bella.
Yep.
And Benny's a good cat, no doubt about it. But I think I'm allergic to Benny. And so every time I fell asleep on the couch for my much looked forward to Saturday or Sunday naps, I would be awoken by Benny jumping on my chest, trying to lay on me. I'm like, dude, my nose is running. My eyes itch. They're watery. Benny, you're a good cat, but you got to go somewhere else.
You got to move.
You got to. And Benny did not go anywhere near Darcy as far as that same stuff. He just did. It was just me. It's like, I got you, dude, and I am going to get you.
Benny's into dudes.
Yeah, it was just a strange thing, man.
You got clear? Use that clear.
I did use the clear. It was so bad.
Allergens out of your nose.
Sunday, I had to take a Zyrtec.
Yeah.
And now I'm like coming out of the antihistamine fog. And I hate that feeling, because it's like all morning this morning, I was like, oh. Of course, it might have had something to do with the bourbon I drank last night with friends too. So, I mean, I'm going to blame it on the antihistamine, and I'm going to leave the bourbon alone. But yeah, it was some good.
Definitely the cat, not the bourbon.
The bourbon was pretty good. One of my friends subscribed. They send him 4 little vials, and you taste each one of the vials, and it tells
the
you
flavor.
You tell them where it's from, and they're all from small batch distilleries, and we were pretty good. I think 3 out of the 4 we pretty much nailed what it was, and somebody at least got it right. And the last one was like 130 proof alcohol, and we also this tastes like gasoline, and it could be
Persian Gulf.
It's like, holy cow, that was awesome. Yeah,
I got my husband one of those Flaver Advent calendars one year. And they had some great bourbons and whiskeys in there. He got a lovely little glass. I got it before the price doubled and went up to over $200 for an advent calendar.
Oof. I don't know. I'm getting older. I used to be able to go home and, I would have a drink almost every night. Now it's like, man, 2 nights a week is good.
Your watch tells you don't sleep well.
My watch tells me I don't sleep well.
It bothers him.
It bothers me. Me and my watch are having a fight, but no, I prefer, I'm at a point where a good night's sleep means an awful lot.
Yep.
So I want to wake up feeling good the next morning. I got to go to Solomon Services tomorrow. So
a lot of working out.
We're all working out. IKR, what does that mean?
I know, right?
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Sorry. You're going to translate.
Thank you. I don't speak the language that I work in, which is social media.
Just not at all.
I just kind of fake it. Just kind of roll with it. No, I did not know what that meant.
If he purchases anything from Amazon Prime, it's not him that purchases it. It's either Darcy or on occasion me.
Yes.
Anything that you see on this show that came from Amazon Prime, or Troy got you something from Amazon.
Troy did get me something.
He does not have an Amazon
I don't
Prime.
want an Amazon account. So every time I get this thing, your Amazon account is in trouble. You have to put money on my Amazon account.
Yeah.
Or PayPal. Your PayPal account has been, I don't have a PayPal account.
No, you don't.
We play in this. I'll be gone a couple weeks from now for my fraternity golf tournament. Been doing this for 34 years, which is scary that we've been out of college for that long. But it's a great group of guys, and the guy that hosts it every year, there's only 2 of us that still send him a check. everybody else Venmos the money
Yeah.
to them. I'll send you a check.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a check.
Nice.
Until I'm the last one. I'm just going to send him a check. Just here's a check.
God willing, you're the last one.
Just going to be the last one. Just hold it out.
You just have to survive longer than
Yes.
the other dude.
I got to
that's
survive
upset.
longer. I'm going to find out who he is. And, he may have an unfortunate accident on the golf course. No, but it's just, it's a really
Means a
fun
lot to
time
him.
to see everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, we all get a little older every year.
What golf course? Don't you go to some famous golf course?
Well,
for
we
this?
used to do Grasslands before
Uh-huh.
Grasslands. It was famous, and the Nike tour and
Yeah.
the whatever.com tour would stop there.
He doesn't know because that's a website.
No, they changed. They've changed it a couple of times.
Okay.
So there's been different sponsors of this lower tier PGA tour,
Mhm.
and the golf course is phenomenal. And we
Yeah.
would always go around the time that the tournament was there, so the greens were like lightning fast.
Mhm.
Had a lot of fun at that one. We played at one in Bartow called The Toe.
The toe.
The Toe, TOW. And that was designed by Donald Ross, the first 9 holes. And then they added 9 more holes in a space that's half the size of the first 9. And it's almost like a shooting gallery.
Yeah.
Like you're on a tee box, aiming over a fairway, aiming over a green to land on your green,
Mm-hmm.
while someone else is firing at the green that's next to you that's also shooting over another green.
Yeah.
It's like, who designed that? It's like they should have helmets right there and face masks whenever you walk through that section of the course. Just golf balls flying everywhere. It's awesome.
Sounds like the way I pack.
It's awesome.
I don't pack in a way that's like super orderly. I
Yeah.
pack in the most space efficient way possible.
Yes.
And so things might not look ordered, but it's like Tetris and everything fits.
So you're giving me 5 questions as we're talking. here.
Nice.
Yep.
See, look at that. We're here.
I'm
We're
working
doing
on this. So we do have to shout out to Jimmy Jam.
We do.
So Jimmy Jam did a phenomenal job.
Mhm.
The food was absolutely
It's
amazing.
so good.
Tim, I don't know if you're on, and I need to text you later, but
Fantastic.
the food was so good.
think- I might
Yep.
have an update on what they sold.
Let us know, because we'd love to hear for young Troy. Darcy picked it up after church. I didn't even go to church. That's how messed up I felt yesterday.
That cat tried to take you out, huh?
That cat successfully kneecapped me.
Yeah.
I was
Sure.
down and out. There was no good yesterday. And you can probably hear it in my voice today. It's got quite a bit of.
I
got
swear I got an
nasal
update.
in it than
You got a
normal.
little, you got a little
I do.
nasal.
Yes. So I was just kind of looking at that. But no, the food was great. The mac and cheese was wonderful. The baked beans. Anytime there's meat in the baked beans,
Yeah.
it's just amazing.
My husband's like, I'm not normally a bean guy, but there's brisket in the beans. Like, these are amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a baked bean guy either, unless there's some kind of beef in them.
Yeah.
Terry Green convinced me that. Terry,
Yeah.
longtime Trinity Episcopal
Mm-hmm. He's
member,
the bean man.
and a phenomenal chef.
And hash browns, right?
Oh, he's so
Those
good.
hash browns.
He's
Yeah.
so good. And he
He
makes it look
was-
easy. He would work the Sunday service where we serve
Oh, yeah. The
food.
breakfast
And
Sunday.
you just go in there to help, and you're like, oh, I'm going to help Terry. And it's like, just stay out of Terry's way. Pick up the stuff he doesn't want to do and
Yeah.
just roll with it.
do
'Cause he-
Terry's dishes.
Oh, man. Terry, I was like, Terry, what can I get you, man? I mean,
Yeah.
do I need to wipe your brow right now because you're sweating just a little bit? He was just so good at
He's
cooking.
why the church won in the barbecue
Oh,
contest.
all the time.
We won
Yeah.
like all the time.
Yes.
The Holy Smoke barbecue team.
The Holy Spirit.
Nice.
And they weren't even Catholic.
You weren't even Catholic.
And it wasn't even papal smoke.
Catholic light.
And the Pope is not feeling well.
Oh no.
The Pope got hospitalized.
No.
Bronchitis.
He got
I didn't realize he was 88 years old.
a dressing down from
You want to
conservative
talk?
luminaries.
I know in the United States we
Yeah.
complain about how old our leaders are,
Oh yeah.
but we got nothing on the Catholic Church.
No.
I mean, you can't even get near Pope unless you're like 75 years old.
Unless you're halfway to meeting Jesus.
Yeah, well, I think you got to
Like
be
1
more.
foot in the grave.
I think you've got to visit it in a
I
near-death
meant like
experience.
1 foot in the grave. That's what I meant by
Yeah.
halfway.
Now you're making me look up average age of the.
I'll look it up.
I got it. I
Okay.
got it. I'm going to
got a
try to do
keyboard.
2 things at one time.
That's never good.
Um,
That's why I search things.
Let's
see, folks.
Let's see who gets.
I can tell you've got antihistamine brain because you've got untucked pants.
Yeah, I do.
That never happens.
Since 1800, the average age when a pope was elected. This might come back on Thursday.
Uh-oh.
Sherry, write this down because you've been smoking the Thursdays. 66 years old.
66.
So in the United States, we're trying to retire between 65 and 68.
That's 1/6 away from a conspiracy theory.
And oh yes, that's not good. So not good. And the Pope is like just getting into his prime at 66.
Yeah, right? They're just getting started in their popey career.
You're going to be the Pope of the entire world. So here's here's kind of the run. The 3 oldest popes to emerge from the Sistine Chapel after voting were Benedict the 16th. He was 78. Pope Francis was 76.
Current Pope, right?
Current Pope. Yep.
And Benedict was the one before him.
And John the 23rd was 76. Pius the 9th, elected in 1846, was the youngest pontiff at 54.
All right.
That's the only guy younger than me.
That's the youngest.
That's the youngest.
54.
It's 54. And believe me, in 1846, that was like being 112.
Well, you either died really young or you lived forever.
Yeah.
At that time.
112.
Because you could have snorted Raid
I
at
am
that point
so
and survived.
I'm going upstairs and printing this because there's all kinds of trivia coming back into
54 was
this.
the youngest.
Yes.
The oldest was 78. Average is 66. Commit to memory.
Just try to remember
Troy's
that.
not watching, is he?
I'm going to tell you right now, Amanda will miss all of those questions
I will miss
on
all of
Thursday.
I will miss all of them.
I give you all the answers. They're right there.
I blame I don't know, being a mom of 3 kids, homeschooling, and 5 jobs. I blame all that.
It's hard. The more stuff you're juggling, it's like things just don't, it doesn't mentally get filed in the right box, in the right folder. And like one day you're walking through your mind mentally and you go, that's where I put that. That 66 was there. I needed it to be over here so that I could find it there.
Yeah.
But I put it over here. So little Seinfeld for you right there.
That is.
Just a little Seinfeld. So he did a great.
As long as you're not in Elaine's box of sponges, you're good.
No. Seinfeld did a phenomenal stand-up the other day about why men can never get it right. It's like, first of all, we don't know when we're doing it right. And then when we're told, what are you doing? We don't want to answer, oh, well, we're doing it right or we're doing it wrong, because we don't want to give up the fact that we don't know what we're doing. I mean, he just goes through this whole, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing what I'm doing. It's just, and then the wife says, do you know what you're doing? No, I'm just doing what I'm doing. What should I be doing? Right? It's like this whole question of, I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm just going to keep on dodging the answer.
Keep on saying, okay, I've got it. 180 servings of, let's see. I've got 70 slabs of ribs, 4 briskets, 180 servings of mac and cheese and brisket beans. That's what was served up yesterday.
I'm going to tell you how good it was. I had it for lunch yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and Darcy said she was going to do salad or something for dinner, which to me is like, why? Why?
That's what dinner's supposed to eat.
Yes, and my dinner did. So I had ribs and mac and cheese. But I will say this: I warmed it up, the second tin up, and she looked at them. She started eating the beans and the mac and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can just eat the ribs right here. I'm good.
Yeah.
She's like, no.
That mac and cheese was good, though.
Cheese was the bomb.
Yeah.
That was the bomb cheese.
Louis separated it he plated everything for all of us. And he separated it out. And I'm like, took one bite of the mac and cheese. I'm like, I call anybody's mac and cheese that doesn't want to finish.
Yes.
That was good mac and cheese.
And as a mom, you don't mind doing that. But I would have done that at a big table if we'd all eaten there. You guys finished that mac and cheese?
Is that done yet?
Are you done with that? Because that was really good mac and cheese. Yes.
Yes.
And I am not a mac and cheese.
That's not your jam?
It's not my jam, but I got to tell you, some good mac and cheese, and that was good mac and cheese.
We had family members putting money on whether or not my wedding dinner would involve mac and cheese because I ate it so much.
Did it or did
it did not? I can't let people make money on a bet like that.
Oh, I so would have had some mac and cheese somewhere.
No mac and cheese.
But I would have waited till those people went home and then did it.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah. All right. So all kinds of fun stuff this weekend. Troy's Reuters, which was his go-to
for neutral, unbiased.
I see where they got like 1 billion over 10 years from the federal government. So I just want to ask him how unbiased you would be if someone gave you $1 billion or $1 million, whatever that was, some ungodly number. You're like, what do you do with that? I mean, obviously,
I got some ideas.
I mean,
Pay off my
I
house,
think Pete
go to
is one of the
Antarctica.
most unethical people, or excuse me, one of the most ethical people I've ever met in my life as far as
Barbara
politics.
Jean was about to shiv you.
No, I know she was. I do it on purpose. He's one of the most ethical people I've ever known as far as is doing things correctly.
Yeah.
As far as political stuff. But I mean, if somebody came to Pete and said, here's $10 million to write positive stories about these following people or to do just positive news on them, and Pete looked at me, I'd be like, dude, take the money.
I am positive
I am
this dude's an
positive
a-hole.
that this is a good thing for you. Take the money and run. Go, run, Pete. This is your chance. It's just a ridiculous sum of money. I think that some of these news organizations have been propped up over the last 20 years by money in the government being shifted to them.
Yeah.
It also tells me that maybe it's a little deeper than that. So I got just this wild thought just came out of left field and hit me in the brain. I was like, so if they're taking money from the government, would they take money from other organizations too? And it didn't take long for my brain to go, oh, hell yes, they're taking money from other organizations. So then you have to go back and think about, well, what has the news coverage been on certain topics? And have they protected the people that have been paying them more money? So you look at the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, yeah.
They hardly ever write anything bad about the pharmaceutical industry. And they don't write anything bad about big ag, right? They do not.
Yeah.
So my question is, how much money are they getting from those organizations? How much money are they getting from other organizations that need positive press and are flowing money into their coffers?
Well, I know pharmaceutical companies are giving media organizations tons of money because almost every giant broadcast is brought to you by Pfizer or Moderna or one of the other big pharmaceutical companies. We're one of the few nations that allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise. And I had always thought about, like, it's not like you can just go and buy Prozac or whatever. You have to get a prescription. And, like, so what if you ask for it by name from your doctor? This is stupid. It's dumb. Such a waste of money for them to be advertising all of these medications, but it's because they're buying positive coverage from the media. I never considered it from the other angle.
Yeah.
Media exists at the behest and due to the generosity of the pharmaceutical companies.
Therefore, they're at the beck and call of that. Yeah. So I just
Which
wonder,
is why you get freaking syringes dancing around the late night comedian shows.
So the media has told us for years we need to know who's donating to politicians.
Oh, yeah.
This has enlightened me to, I want every media company to transparently tell us who they're getting their funding from.
Yeah.
Including their advertising. So when we read their stories, we'll know. You would absolutely blow their mind if you told them you have to disclose. Just like politicians have to, you have to disclose as well. You're the fourth estate, so you should have to disclose as well. We do it on this show right before the beginning of the show.
Of course. Before we say a word.
Before we say a word, we tell you who our sponsors are.
Absolutely.
So yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's insane to me that, like, PBS, we've always known PBS is an arm of the government, and potentially they're the most transparent news organization because at least they cop to it.
They tell you we took government money. Yes.
The others completely hide it and act like they're somehow this, like, magical, ethical, super moral saviors of democracy. No.
Yeah.
You're 100% Pravda.
Well, the other one that was, there was a couple funny things that happened. There was a segment on 60 Minutes where they were talking to some German prosecutors about
Didn't know where that was going to go after that.
About free speech.
Yeah.
And whether or not you were allowed to make fun of someone in a meme. And they all were like, no, you should be arrested. And I'm like, do not joke. Do not have fun. Don't make fun of
don't have a good track record with freedom of speech.
Well, but then at the same time, on a different CBS show, they said that free speech is what caused the rise of Nazism in Germany. You're like, you guys have just, the boat has sailed on CBS. I don't know when it's going under, but the boat is sailed. CBS is done. As a news organization, done.
You know the German knock knock joke, right?
No, I don't.
There's one. German walks up to the door, knock knock.
Who's there?
We will ask the questions.
That's a mom joke. It's 100% a mom joke.
It's pretty good.
It's very good. Yes. So no, I don't know how long Europe can survive in that kind of mental mindset where people making fun of other people get thrown in jail.
Yeah.
And J.D. Vance called them out for the preacher who was praying.
Oh yeah.
Silently.
Mm-hmm.
Not interacting, not saying a word outside of an abortion clinic in England, and got sent to jail.
Yeah.
And then people that live within a certain radius were told not to pray in their own home.
Yeah.
I don't know. We did fight wars to keep them free, right? We did fight wars to keep Europe free, and then the Europeans enslaved themselves.
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's the human.
It's up to them.
It's the human condition.
I don't have a vote over there.
Well, yeah. So people got imprisoned for silently praying within a certain radius of abortion clinics. Meanwhile, those gangs of men that just round up girls and traffic them and use and abuse them, they're still walking free. Many of them are there illegally, not being deported. They've attempted to deport false asylum seekers from the UK. They've loaded up planes once or twice. Lawyers storm the tarmac and stop the planes from taking off. Like, they cannot deport people in the UK.
Wow.
They won't let it happen. Meanwhile, they're also constantly self-flagellating about how racist and corrupt British civilization is, but it's a human right for people to have access to Britain. Like, pick one. Either it's racist and oppressive and needs to self-flagellate and take punishment for everything it's ever done, or it's amazing and people have right to access to it. Like, you can't have it both ways.
No, you cannot.
No.
You can absolutely not.
No.
So, I look at all this stuff and I think this is crazy to watch an entire continent tie itself in a knot over the thing that they started. Enlightenment started in Europe.
Yeah.
And they're the first ones to go, yeah, we don't want to do that anymore. We don't want to be enlightened anymore. We don't want to be.
So today's President's Day. This holiday wasn't originally just President's Day. This holiday was originally George Washington Day. The day was set aside to celebrate George Washington.
Yep.
And it was celebrated on his actual birthday. And then they decided to divorce the holiday from George Washington and just celebrate presidents in general. There are a few presidents I don't want to celebrate. So that kind of annoys me. So if you want to actually celebrate the day properly, it's February 22nd and it's George Washington's birthday.
Yes. I'm going to celebrate them all.
His favorite cake was a hoe cake. Have some hoe cakes on George Washington's birthday.
What is a hoe cake?
It's like a pancake that you can make on a shovel over a campfire.
You clean the shovel first.
I imagine you do.
This is not the shovel that's used near the latrine.
I don't know.
Just asking, because I might or might not have lived through that
great in a
past life. I know. Here comes the guy. Hey, George, just clean the latrine. Here's your shovel for your hoe cake.
The reason I know that is because I was in the D.C. area and we accidentally scheduled a day at Mount Vernon on George Washington's birthday.
Yes.
Which is also my husband's birthday.
Okay.
And they gave away free cakes. And that's how it was his favorite cake. So we all got hoe cakes.
Ooh. Okay.
Well, if you were there early enough, you got hoe cakes.
You got a hoe cake. Kind of interesting to try one.
Mm-hmm.
You ever had
I'll find a recipe.
You ever had like a bird pie with bird meat in it?
Cornish game hens
and a pie. Someone told me it was really good.
Yeah.
So yes. Today.
I'm not going to make that for you, but I might find a recipe for hoe cakes.
Yes.
We can try some hoe cakes.
I would try a hoe cake. I would get a brand new shovel. I'd clean a brand new shovel. I'm just trying to think of all the things I would do.
I don't think I'm going to make it on a shovel.
It's not a hoe cake.
Cast iron.
It's not a hoe cake.
Cast iron.
I'm just saying, you want it the way it's made out of.
If you buy me a new shovel, I'll make it on a shovel.
Well, I'm still going to clean the shovel because I don't know what kind of paint's on it and all the other stuff, right? RFK Jr.'s had his impact on me.
Oh, my word.
Big shovels are not taking me down in my food supply.
We had it was decided that we were going to celebrate Valentine's Day today at our community, our homeschool community. And so we had a big Valentine's Day snack bar that people brought snacks to contribute to. And anything that was red, right down to the tomatoes in the salsa. Kids are like, red dye number 40, red dye number 40, can't eat it. It's like, calm down, y'all. It's reaching children.
I love the fact that the consumer is going to drive this change. Mm-hmm. Because right now, if I'm sitting in a boardroom of any of these huge agribusiness, I'm like, we got to get them healthier food or we are going to be left out.
That's not the conversation they're having.
They are going to ditch us. I'm telling you.
Rename it. That's the conversation.
That's the guy in the corner that's in charge of marketing who happens to be related to Troy Blevins.
Who has a forked tongue and a tail.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, literally, I was having a conversation with a parent. I had given cookies to my kids to hand out to their friends in their classes. My daughter interrupts my conversation and says, do these cookies have food dye? Meanwhile, they're brightly colored. Like, absolutely, there are food dyes in there.
I love it. But that's what changes trends, right? Yeah. I mean, everybody complained about how much sugar was in soda. Mm-hmm. And soda is not Coke is not the number one thing that Coca-Cola sells now. Yeah. They sell a whole variety of products. Not all of them are good for you. But I mean, they sell water, which amazingly, I mean, if you told me as a kid, okay, you've got a warm Coke or you've got a Cola, it's like, I'll just take the warm Coke. I don't want, who would drink water? But now I'm like drinking water laced with electrolytes. So,
growing up in the 80s and the 90s, they didn't just give you water to drink. It was some chemical concoction. They didn't believe sugar was bad for you.
They thought you needed more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sugar wasn't the enemy. And so it might have started my food issues.
So I have a couple of Barbara Jean stories because Barbara Jean is in here with us. We can do the abstinence story, which is kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. Or we can do the theft along Las Vegas at strip clubs. There's theft at strip clubs.
We have to do strip clubs for Barbara Jean.
All right. So this story, apparently there's a lot of theft going on at strip clubs. And it's
not just your dignity.
It's not just your wallet. It's not just the fact that you've doing something you shouldn't be doing, but there's theft going on. So apparently, and it's at the all nude strip clubs more than the not all nude strip clubs.
Okay.
So when the strippers are stripping, they're leaving their clothing on the stage, and people are stealing the clothing. Because some of the underwear, apparently, that they're wearing is like $150 a pair. Mm-hmm. And they're stealing that. So they're trying to figure out, is this like a ring of thieves? Is this just one guy? Is this a group of people?
This, right?
I haven't the slightest idea.
They're selling it.
Well, more than likely, yeah.
Not because it has a high value, but because a hot chick wore it. Mm-hmm. There's a market for not washed, discarded clothing that women have worn. There are vending machines in certain countries.
Oh, I bet there are.
Where you can put in dirty underwear and you can get out money. Yeah. And then people will buy the used dirty underwear. There's some very sad, lonely people.
There are some weird people in this world. That's all I'm going to tell you. There are some really weird people.
You can sell anything on the interweb.
Oh, my gosh. Guarantee you nobody would have bought Al Bundy's underwear. I can tell you that right now.
Facts.
Nah, it's not going to happen. Yeah. So
and if that show was popular today, there would be an Al Bundy candle. Just like there are Bean Boozled beans that taste nasty. Are you aware of this?
No.
Oh, Jelly Belly. Jelly Bean Company, Jelly Belly.
Yeah, I'm aware of I hate jelly beans, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, they make lots of gourmet flavors.
Yeah.
They made... Like, if we can mimic flavors in jelly bean form, can we mimic gross ones? So there's a game where you spin the wheel and it lands on a blue one. And then you have to just blindly select blue out of a pack. And half of them are like, I don't know, mint. or no, what is it? Like bubblegum flavor, and the other half is like toothpaste flavored. Or red ones, and you're either getting cinnamon or you're getting Old Bandage.
I'll take the Old Bandage over cinnamon.
Tutti Frutti or
cinnamon.
Rotten Fish.
Yeah. That's all my mom had in the car ever was cinnamon flavored gum.
I love cinnamon flavored gum.
Ah,
It'll exfoliate the entire interior of your mouth. But it's a game, Bean Boozled, and I used to bring it into my class, and we would do review games right before tests with Bean Boozled beans, and that was always a wild day. I
couldn't do
They have a spicy one.
No.
Where you don't know if you're getting cherry or habanero.
It's already bad enough when you have regular colored jelly beans that are supposed to taste good, to taste good.
Uh-huh.
And not all of them do. You're like, oh, that's the grossest flavor of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Popcorn.
Right. So really quickly, we'll do this story. According to sociologists, and this is in Voices. I have no idea what Voices is, but it's a ChristianPost.com.
All right.
It's the ChristianPost.com. Barbara Jean, hang in there.
So this is their editorial page.
This is according to sociologist Lyman Stone.
Okay.
Could mispronounce that and be in all kinds of trouble in this article. Published at the Institute for Family Studies. Sexlessness, not sexiness, sexlessness, skyrocketed between 2010 and 2020, roughly doubling for young men, increasing by 50% for young women. According to the data gleaned. It's a good word. According to the data from a National Survey of Family Growth, talking about not having sex. So there's an oxymoron in there somewhere. There's been an unprecedented rise in celibacy among those in the 22 to 34 age bracket.
Yeah.
Period of life when most people have historically gotten married. About a third of male and female respondents reported that they had not been intimate with anyone in the past 3 months. Is this article from COVID? No, it's not. It's from this year. All right. With about 24% of men and 13% of women reporting that it had been at least a year. Did they say these people were married or unmarried? I am assuming they're all unmarried.
I have a friend who gets it once a year on his birthday. It's very sad.
Of the respondents, 10%, and none of that guy does not work at the 904 now.
That one in particular doesn't. I don't know about the rest of them.
Of the respondents, 10% of men and 7% of women said that they were still virgins.
Yeah.
Which is, to me, I'm almost disappointed the number's that low. But if you're going all the way to age 34,
yeah,
it's awful. I know what you should do, but you're going to have at least one relationship in there that you think is it. You're like, I'm in my 20s.
Well, you would hope so.
Yeah, you would hope that you had one, if not more, that you're like, yeah.
I would like to see that broken down by age.
Bobby says, is this from the AARP? No.
From the Christian
Bobby,
Post.
if I do that one, all the numbers are going to be reversed. 90% of the 65 years old in the villages are having sex.
That's a lot.
Because they got loofahs down there.
And STDs.
All kinds of things. On one hand, the decline of the hookup culture is clearly a good thing.
Of course.
This is a Christian magazine, and we like Christian magazines, but I can't say we like all of them. Some of them also took money from the government and are left-leaning. So casual sex reliably produces personal and social brokenness, fuels demand for abortion, increases the epidemics of fatherlessness and sexual infections. All of that is true. There's risk to doing that. And the more promiscuous you are, the bigger the risks are. But for me, it's really kind of interesting, this whole group. Basically, I don't know if it's sex drive or it's just a change in attitudes. But kids today are not having as big a hookup culture as I would say the baby boomers had or our generation had. I'm Gen X.
Well, millennials were on the cutting edge of dating apps. And so there was a lot of hookup culture in particular in the young millennials. But I mean, I can not name them, but I can count off about 6 girls that were pregnant between around my prom and high school graduation. So there was definitely Well, it was even in TV shows. So there was stigma in TV shows and movies about being a virgin. In the 80s and
Yes.
90s, if you were a virgin, it was like, oh, well, they're a virgin. She's a virgin. Ugh. I mean, hocus pocus. There's like, they say the word virgin probably 40 times in that movie, and it's a kid's movie made by Disney. Which doesn't say a whole lot these days, but at that point, it was
When you
a
said
lot.
made by Disney, it says all I need to not know.
Well, it was made in a time when it wasn't what it is now. So there was stigma about being a virgin, and that's just not in the culture in the same way.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is because the people that are writing the shows aren't from the 60s and 70s where everybody was just having sex constantly, evidently. It's gone down every generation.
Yeah. It got
The
a little out
amount
of,
of
it
sex.
got a little out of hand.
A little out of hand during
It started
the-
at Woodstock.
them hippie days.
Hippie days.
Yeah.
This is an interesting article because I hadn't read the very end of it. But it quotes St. Paul, said it bluntly, according to the article. The body is not meant for sexual immorality, but for the Lord. At the heart of Christian sexual ethic, which once held more sway in America, is the belief that God made us and knows us what's best for us. We are sexual beings made to have sexual relationships, but ordered by marriage. The next paragraph is the solution for America's sex recession is the same as for the sexual revolution. Rebuild a culture built on proper understanding of the human person as individuals made in the image of God and for the institution of marriage.
Side note, do you know who is having the most sex in this country?
Older people.
Married Christians have the most sex.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Older people. Yeah. We talked about this because, yes. Well, I think if you're in a relationship where you have a good relationship with your spouse,
Mhm.
you should have more intimacy in that relationship
You should.
because you're talking to one another, you're communicating with one another. If you're not, it doesn't set the groundwork for having a very intimate relationship.
Yeah.
So that's all. I mean, that's just.
Healthy
You gotta talk to one
relationships
another.
mean more sex.
That's it. You got to spend time with one another. You got to care about one another. You got to love one another, and then everything else is good.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just yes.
So Bobby and Barbara Jean are talking about how the boomer generation created the sexual revolution. There seems to be a backlash, though. We
Wow.
seem to be sexual de-evolutioning.
I think times have changed.
Times have changed a
Times
little
have
bit.
changed.
Sexual revolution gave birth to the STD epidemic.
They gave for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. So anyway, just an interesting article. And I found that one just kind of searching through.
That is interesting.
His
His search history is sexy stories for Barbara Jean.
My wife wants to know who Barbara Jean is.
Yeah.
Honey, she's
We
just
can arrange a
listener.
meet and greet.
I know. I'm just gonna tell you. Why are you always doing this stuff for Barbara Jean, but you never search anything online for me? I don't know, honey. I just don't. So, yeah.
Sorry, Darcy.
I know. I know.
I can send you some links for Darcy.
Yes.
Expensive.
So
jeans.
anyway, kind of some interesting things on the Trump front. A couple of judges did not delay what Trump is doing.
Yeah.
I think that's just going to continue. I mean, people are going to realize, hey, we've wasted a lot of money. I personally think that all of these phone calls that we get about signing up for different Medicare things, I think all they need is a yes, and then they're billing the federal government. I think there's,
I think they're billing it on contact. I don't
Yeah.
even think they need an answer before they start
I think
billing.
they're just checking the boxes. Yes.
Oh my word.
I mean, if you went and looked, my dad passed away 5.5 years ago.
Mhm.
If you went and looked, I bet Medicare has been getting billed for him in some way, shape, or form ever since
Yeah.
then by some of these scammers. I'm almost
Probably.
going to guarantee it.
Probably.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yes. All right. You want to do some 5 questions?
We can do that.
I only got a couple,
We can
but
figure
one
out
of them
some
may
more.
may take a while. So packing. We're
Packing.
talking about packing to go on a
Mhm.
trip.
Yes.
Do you pack too much clothes or not enough clothes? Which category do you fall in?
I'm a chick. What do you think I do?
You have an extra suitcase.
Too much.
You're actually looking at Louis going, you're taking that out of your suitcase so I can put this in your suitcase.
No.
Oh, come on. I'm claiming guilty on that
He was watching. You can
Yeah.
ask him. Put it in the comments.
one.
Do I ask you to take stuff out of your bag so that my stuff? I just ask him if he has room in his bag.
Which is
I don't ask him to
yeah,
take stuff out.
yeah. That's the way that you ask it. But what we hear is You're taking that out of the bag so I can put my stuff in.
That's not what I say.
That's how it goes in the husband translator.
He usually has more shoes than
We
me.
just nod and go,
Because he
okay.
plans on
Okay.
exercising on vacation. It's very strange.
Yes.
So he has workout shoes and then regular shoes and then flip. Usually I organize my outfits so I don't have to bring as many shoes.
Yes.
So if there's a pair of shoes that I want to wear and they're like black coated, then I only bring black shoes that work with black outfits.
Yeah.
And that's it. So that I don't have to bring like brown shoes and black shoes and all of the things.
Well,
I try to pack as little as I can in some ways, but I don't know. The bag explodes.
I pack to work out, right? But I also look at what shoes I'm bringing so that I can maybe wear those to like a non-dressy event.
Yeah.
But when I'm traveling, I'm like trying to bring the least amount of shoes possible. And I have a lot of work boots that are very comfortable on job sites. But when I go to a business meeting somewhere and I'm going to be in a hotel all day, I want the most comfortable shoes I can get on.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting all day, I'm hanging. It's like the same thing with planning and zoning days.
Yeah.
You will rarely see me in boots on a planning and zoning day. It's a long time sitting in that chair. No, I haven't gone flip-flops. I've been a little more respectful of that, but I have thought about it.
He says to the girl that wears flip-flops everywhere.
I have. Well, I don't judge. I think that's fine.
Everywhere.
I thought they were just heels without the heels.
No, I can't. Ever since the arthritis got bad a few years ago, like flip-flops are the most comfortable shoe I can wear.
Yes.
So if I can get away with wearing flip-flops, then I'll wear them because shoes just in general hurt me. I don't like shoes.
So, yeah, I could wear flip-flops all the time, but I'm a big tennis shoe guy. If I'm going anywhere and I got to do activities, I want a pair of tennis shoes.
I can't wear tennis shoes. So I would wear tennis shoes to go to theme parks or, we're going to be walking around all day. There's going to be a ton of strollers. I don't want people taking off a toenail with the stroller.
Yep.
But the tennis shoes will hurt my feet so bad that I just stopped. Like it'll hobble me. Like I'll be walking with a limp just wearing shoes. I'm Agador Spartacus. I can't wear closed-toed shoes. If I'm in closed-toed shoes, you best believe I got a pair of shoes in my bag.
Anyway. So apparently some of the Doge information is coming out on the Department of Education.
Yeah.
Now, this is a headline. This is a Troy Blevins story because I'm doing the headline.
Okay.
What percentage of the entire $268 billion budget for the Department of Education goes to K through 12 education?
13%.
You got 13. You're really close. 9%.
9%.
9% goes to K through 12.
K through 12.
K through 12.
Ugh.
Which is 75% of the education years. It's 100% if you don't go to college. 75% if you go to college.
And most people in the country don't go to college.
And most people don't go to college. And only 9% of that budget. So less than $27 billion of the $268 billion.
So I heard on the way over here that Doge is going to be auditing the Federal Reserve. How you feel about that?
I love it.
First audit in 50 years.
I want them to be audited. Someone actually wanted them to go and make sure the gold bars are still in Fort Knox. Go.
The reason
Go.
The reason there's such a big
call for that. I saw that James Bond movie, and I'm convinced they got some of that gold while they were filming down there.
I saw, what was it? Lethal Weapon 3?
Yes.
Is that what it was? Lethal Weapon 3? There's gold in the Federal Reserve, and they took poop load of it. The one with John McClane and Samuel L. Jackson.
That is
Die Hard 3. Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Die Hard with a Vengeance. Die Hard 3. Yes.
My parents let me
picks the piece of wire out of his arm.
Yeah.
Drops it to his hand, makes the miraculous catch, and then picks his lock.
Of course.
John McClane.
He's John McClane. Of course.
Okay, in a fight, John McClane or Jack Bauer? Who are you taking?
John McClane. Gotta be John McClane.
I love John McClane, but I didn't. Jack Bauer's pretty tough.
John McClane.
Okay, winner of that fight, we'll go with John McClane. John McClane versus Jack Reacher.
Well, Jack Reacher's got the wingspan.
I'm going Reacher in that one.
I'm going Reacher.
I gotta go Reacher in that one.
Just
I'm
brute
sorry.
force.
Yes.
Them steroids were real good, Alan.
Oh, was he a skinny kid growing up?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a big dude now.
He's a very big dude now.
He's a very big dude now. Yes.
I mean, there's clips of him when he tried out for American Idol. like romancing Paula Abdul
Yes.
to try and get on the show. It's pretty funny.
Nice
but
try, buddy.
he's a skinny kid.
Yeah.
He's a skinny kid in that time.
Okay. All right. This question,
Yep.
which might be our
We got
last
time.
one. Well, I know, but so let's say you get a call or a text,
Mhm.
and either the name is garbled, right, or they don't give you their name in the text, but there's enough information in the text that you know you should know them.
Yeah.
So in my case, somebody asked me for something the other
Mhm.
day, and I knew that if they were asking for that, I must have known them pretty well.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to figure it out. I just do I'm just going to give a random text back.
Mhm.
I'm in a meeting. I'll call you later.
Mhm.
Hoping there would be some more information.
Yeah.
I just got a K.
Follow up.
Okay.
Of course you got
So I
a K.
just
You're
got
in a
okay.
meeting.
I'm in a meeting. I got this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby wants John Wick over all of them.
Uh,
Oh man, that's
Are we talking hand-to-hand combat or are we talking guns? If we're talking guns, then
I think for the whole
Maybe.
thing, Bobby might be right. John Wick is,
he's not beating Reacher.
if Reacher gets his hands on him, he's not beating Reacher. John Wick could shoot him. Okay. So how do you handle that?
Yeah.
How do you try to get the necessary information out without disclosing that you have no idea who's calling or texting you?
Okay, so first of all, you screenshot it and you text your loved ones and say, "Does anyone have this number
Okay.
in their account?"
If you did that and nothing came back positive, what's step 2?
Step 2,
I'm in this situation right now. I need some help.
you Google the phone number.
Okay. Okay.
Google the phone number, and if it comes up, then yay, you've got your answer. If it doesn't come up, then hey, I lost my contacts. Who is this?
So the person called me,
Uh-huh.
and all I get is a number. I don't know whose number it is.
Uh-huh.
And I was in a meeting, right?
Is it my husband?
And I'm like, I'll just have to call him back,
Yeah.
right? And then when I call back, I'm like, please don't answer, please don't answer, please don't answer. 'Cause if they don't answer, I'm going to get voicemail.
Yeah.
The voicemail must have been like from like 20 years ago on this
Driving through a
person's phone.
tunnel.
Because I could understand a name, but I
Mhm.
couldn't put the name with a last name.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't sound like anybody's voice that I had
Yeah.
heard before. I'm like, man, this is really getting harder for me to figure this out. And the object that they wanted was they truly wanted to borrow surfboards.
Uh-huh.
And I know if I'm going to loan surfboards,
My husband.
I know who this is.
Yeah.
But your husband's voicemail says Louise.
Mhm.
It doesn't say Louis. It doesn't say cool dad Lou. It doesn't say Amanda's husband. None of the clues
Yeah.
that I needed to solve the crime.
Weirdly, he doesn't put in his voicemail message Amanda's husband, Louis.
No.
His name is Louis.
I use all the time. Darcy's husband. I am married to the woman that makes the most amazing
Reese's
chocolate chip
dad.
cookies. Reese's dad.
Wesley's
all
dad.
these kind of things, right? Amanda's co-host. All this kind of stuff is in my
So
message.
he's texted you a couple of times. He's like,
Yes.
I don't think Mike has my number because he never responds to me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
But he had sent the text messages to my email,
Yeah.
which I don't know if I ever got the text message to my email, but
Yeah.
we did finally connect. I've got him hooked up on surfboards. But when we started talking, even then it took me like 10 seconds to go, this is Louis. This is Amanda's husband. I remember now promising him
You
surfboards.
made him dinner.
Oh, I remember now who this man is. But it was like it's a couple hours during the day of trying to figure out how do I hack this
Mhm.
without not letting him know. And of course, then after I figured it out, I told him when he stopped by to look at surfboards yesterday, and I decided I would tell the whole world because it's just a funny story of not being able to figure out who Louis was.
So he's Louis. And if you find him on
Yes.
Facebook, then
He said it with a very cool accent when he left.
he
his
has a
message.
sexy voice.
It sounded like Antonio Banderas had said it, and that's not how
All
Louis
right.
talks to me.
I mean,
It threw me off. I'm just telling you.
so I was introduced to, he was supposed to be a junior and his dad was called Louis. And so when I met him, he was mostly called Louis or Junior.
Uh-huh.
And so I wasn't going to call him Junior.
Please
so
don't.
I called him Louis. And then as he got into higher up in the ranks of being a chef and working for restaurants, they called him what was on his W-9, And so they called him Louis. And so he was Chef Louis.
Yeah.
And so I know when you met my husband based on what you called him.
Mm-hmm.
If it's Junior, then you knew him before me.
Yes.
If it's Louis, then we probably met around the same time. Or you met him through me. If it's Louis, then you met him post becoming a chef.
You don't want to call him JR?
No.
He was already taken
JR
from
gets
Dallas.
shot.
But then he got
I
not
don't want
shot.
my husband to be shot.
Then he got not shot. And he was a bad dude.
You
too.
got shot lots of times.
Yes.
I do have the sweetest husband.
Yes, he is very, very sweet.
Mhm.
He's a good dude. Yeah, so I've got him and Gavin all hooked up on surfboards.
Yes,
they're good to
they're
go.
excited.
They come borrow anytime. And yeah.
Isabella wants to learn how to surf. She just wishes that there weren't animals in the ocean when she was
Me too.
also in there.
I paddled out Saturday for the first time in 56 days after reading online that they had spotted a 14-foot great white shark off of New Smyrna.
Yeah.
I started doing the math in my head. Could it swim from
Ipso
there?
facto, carry
How many
the
days
one.
ago was this? Where am I at? Yeah, I had this whole chart on the wall of different places you could go and the probabilities, and it didn't look good, but I went anyway.
Is that why red yarn is sold out at Hobby Lobby?
Yes. Yeah, I took a lot of it. I was trying to do a life-size thing down to the same size in my driveway, but it's got really tough.
Yeah. So, did you see any pictures from the protest that was downtown today?
No, what was the protest?
There was what it's against. Protesting against Trump on President's Day because it's President's Day, not King's Day. And
okay.
fascism doesn't belong in the U.S.
How many people were there?
I didn't see full crowd pictures. I just saw like pictures of individual
Look,
groups.
Get it out. You guys keep complaining about cutting government waste.
Mhm.
Keep complaining about getting violent criminals out of the country. It's a winning strategy for you. I'm scared to death of the midterms. Just keep it up.
I just saw lots of signs that had the word fascist on it. And I just want the stats on the number of fascist leaders that shrank the size of government. I'm waiting.
Well, what I'm waiting for
I
is
just
I
want
would
stats.
walk up to each one of the people there
Mhm.
and say, did you think people should be fired for not getting a COVID shot?
Mhm.
Did you think they should be not allowed to go to work if they
Mhm.
didn't get a COVID shot?
Mhm.
And if you think that, that might be more fascist than what you think.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Did you laugh when Jimmy Kimmel said, die wheezy if you're unvaccinated and trying to get into the hospital?
Mhm.
Because that's a sign.
I'm just, my other question would be, how many masks were in the crowd?
I saw a few.
Yeah, that answers a lot of the questions for me. Look, you're allowed to protest. I think it's great
Yeah.
that you protest.
Get it
You know,
done.
to prove that we're not a fascist country, you all protested and went home today.
Yeah.
Not a one of you was arrested. Not a one of you was surveilled.
Mhm.
Not a one of you was debanked.
Yeah.
Not a one of you had your social media streams cut, curtailed,
Mhm.
or shadow banned.
Shadow ban.
Not any of that happened to you today. You're not in a fascist country. So enjoy the evening, enjoy the meal, have a great day. Tomorrow you can protest again at whatever you would like to. The day that you get thrown in jail, then you're in a fascist regime.
Mhm.
So.
No unmarked government vehicles, black bagging people and
No.
disappearing them to
No.
the wastelands of Siberia.
Nope, none of that happens. So it does happen in other foreign countries.
Yeah.
You could be shot dead for protesting in other foreign countries. So I'm glad that you celebrated on President's Day a president who has defended your right to freely protest them.
Mhm.
I hope that didn't hurt too much.
Ow.
Felt good saying it. All right, it is time. We've got to go. Tomorrow, Davey is here.
Yes, he is.
Sherry's here tomorrow.
Yes.
Sherry's coming. She's going to talk to us about Limelight Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And then also she's going to do the
She's going to join us for movie night. It's
For
your last night to watch the movie.
Dangerous. What movie is it again?
Dangerous Beauty.
How long is it?
So long. But there's boobies.
I don't really care about that. Is it subtitled? Do I have to read subtitles again?
No.
Okay. All right. If it's
You
like
can put on subtitles. if
I'm
you
going to
can't
try to
hear.
start watching it at about 3:30 or 4 o'clock tomorrow and see if I can speed watch my way through it.
You're not going to make it.
I'm going to see what I can do tomorrow.
You got to get to the end.
Going to see what I can do tomorrow.
Davey was live texting me as he was watching the movie.
Oh, I
he
bet
thought
that
it was hilarious.
I can't wait to find out what he thought was hilarious.
Oh
about it.
my word, I've got all the texts. I'm out on a date and Davey's texting me how hilarious he thinks this movie is.
Did Louis know about this date?
He was with me.
Oh, okay, good.
he
All right,
was
all right,
reading
good.
the text with
Okay,
me.
good. All right. Just checking.
We were sharing the texts.
I think tomorrow will be an interesting movie review if I can just get a chance to watch the movie.
Dude, so mean. Hearts in the chat if you're going to watch the movie.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the morning show is here, but I think Pete is off all week.
I don't know.
There's a rumor that Pete is off all week. I don't know. Tune in
Pete
tomorrow.
has lots of off time for Florida Man Games.
He has got responsibilities. That
He
young
does.
man has grown up.
He's not constantly
He
vacationing
is
like
not
you
the
and going
carefree
golfing
person
and all
that
the
Mike
things.
Davis pretends to be.
Yes.
Yep. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.